Mr. President, corruption has deep, insidious and lasting consequences on economies and societies. Its harmful effects on stability and security, public institutions and trust in them, the functioning and efficiency of markets, and overall economic performance are well documented. It undermines the rule of law and is often directly linked to serious crimes such as money laundering, terrorism, and trafficking of drugs, arms, and persons. Corruption's tentacles are global, affecting all countries across the development spectrum, from advanced economies to fragile states. And its manifestations are diverse, from the height of sophistication in the boardrooms of large global corporate entities to the pettiest of forms met in the realities of daily life in small villages. Sadly, as with many social ills, its effects are borne most heavily by the vulnerable. Guyana therefore welcomes the convening of this special session of the United Nations General Assembly on challenges and measures to prevent and combat corruption and to strengthen international cooperation. We are also pleased to associate ourselves with the political declaration expected to emerge from this session. We're particularly pleased at the recognition of the importance of safeguarding the integrity of the electoral process as a means of preventing corruption, ensuring accountability, promoting good governance, and reinforcing trust in public institutions. Subversion of democracy represents not just an extremely egregious demonstration of corruption itself, but is also the typical behavior of incumbents who are engaged in pervasive and endemic corrupt behavior in all aspects of government. Ultimately, corruption threatens the very core of the values of democracy that we hold so dear as a global community and for which so many of us have fought across continents and over centuries. Guyana remains indebted to our international partners who played an instrumental role last year in helping to ensure that democracy was not subverted and that the democratic will of the people was eventually respected. Mr. President, since resuming office last year, our government has restarted the agenda to strengthen the institutions that are critical to ensuring public accountability, transparency, and good governance, building on the foundation laid during our previous tenure. That foundation includes our constitutional and legal frameworks in such areas as parliamentary oversight, independence and mandate of constitutional bodies, integrity in public office, public financial management, public procurement, anti-money laundering, and countering the financing of terrorism. Moving the agenda forward will include continued building of capacity in the institutions tasked with implementing these frameworks while grappling with current and emerging realities. For example, the onset of COVID-19 presented an opportunity to deploy digital technology to facilitate remote bidder participation in bid openings in public procurement, thereby enhancing public scrutiny of the process and helping to build trust. Digital technology offers exciting opportunities for delivery of public services to be enhanced while improving public accountability. Additionally, recognizing the importance of good governance in the natural resource sector, Guyana will also implement the standards of the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative and uphold the Santiago Principles for Management of Sovereign Wealth Funds. Mr. President, Guyana wishes to underscore the importance of international cooperation in the fight against corruption. In particular, we draw attention to Clause 47 in the Lima Commitment on Democratic Governance Against Corruption, which emerged from the 4th Summit of the Americas. That clause calls for coordination amongst international and regional anti-corruption bodies to foster synergies and avoid duplication of effort in the fight against corruption. This is particularly pertinent to small countries with limited resources, human, technical, and financial. Guyana reaffirms our commitment to continue working with our international partners, including the United Nations, the UN Office on Drugs and Crime, and the implementation mechanism of the UN Convention Against Corruption. We also welcome the recognition of how important technical assistance will be in strengthening national capacity, and we look forward to relevant assistance from such entities as the UNODC and other international bodies within their respective mandates. Mr. President, this special session draws attention to the fact that efforts in fighting corruption can help advance achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. On that note, it is opportune for us to reiterate, as a global community, the urgency of full implementation of the Addis Ababa Agenda on Financing for Development, including those critical but pending global commitments on international development cooperation and climate action. Mr. President, Excellencies, I thank you very much.